Yes, people. Welcome to another episode of All Things Football on the Finished Article. As the title says, we're doing a roundup of Gameweek 14, which goes from the 30th of November to the 2nd of December. We had some good matches, some interesting results. And yeah, me and Shaz, who is about to join me, we will go through each game and we'll give our thoughts on it. So without further ado, here is the main man himself. Yes, Shaz, how are we, bro?
What's happening, bro? You good?
Yeah, man. Just a bit tired, man. Long day. You know how it is.
And I don't blame you, bro. We know the drill, bro. We know the drill.
You know the drill, bro. It's a busy day.
It is.
Yeah, man. So as the title says, we're just going to review game week 14 from Tuesday all the way to the 2nd of December. So yeah, we'll just kick off with the first game of that week. I mean, all these games were on Amazon Prime or Prime Video, as it's called. So yeah, we'll just go through them all one by one. And do you want to do it the same way we normally do it? I'll read out the results. You give your thoughts, and I'll give mine.
Yeah, sounds good, bro.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so as you know, Shaz, first game was Newcastle versus Norwich, 1-1 draw. Syrian Clark getting a red card in the 9th minute. Callum Wilson scoring a penalty in the 61st minute, and Timu Puki scoring in the 79th minute for Norwich. And as I said, it was a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, this one I kind of predicted. I think we both predicted it would end in a draw. I actually said it would end probably 0-0. So they went one better and actually got goals.
It's still a draw's a draw though, either way, and it says
a draw's a draw.
Draw's a draw.
Yeah, I mean they both cancelled each other out. Newcastle, as always, under Eddie Howe, new manager, trying to find.
I've not watched the highlights. What was the red card about?
So it was for a cynical foul.
Was it a really bad foul?
Yeah, it was a bad foul. It was in the 9th minute. So considering
it shows, because he didn't even get a yellow card before. It's a straight red, so it must have been something fairly bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So yeah, I mean that they cancelled each other out, and as expected, ended up.
I'm just going to try and watch the red card now. I'm just going to try and quickly bring it up. Well, I'm not going to bring it up on the show because we don't want to get the video cancelled and deleted. Let's have a look. So, give me a sec, as you carry on with this Newcastle and Norwich thing. I'm just going to watch this red card. It's literally 30-second video.
The red card was in the 9th minute.
Yeah.
Then Callum Wilson scored a penalty in the 61st minute. And then Timu Puki got the equalizer in the 79th minute. And really, it was pretty much cancelled each other out. I wouldn't say it was the most entertaining of games. I mean, if I look at the stats, possession-wise, Norwich actually had more stats, which is to be expected when they were playing with 11 men, but they didn't really make it count.
I mean, it's just one of them, innit? You're playing against 10 men, you'd expect that team to at least win.
It's probably harder to play against 10 men.
I think, if you've got the one-man advantage, you need to use that space.
Yeah, and that's what I think a lot of teams struggle with sometimes, where they don't utilize that space properly. But yeah, as I said, pretty much pretty uneventful 1-0 draw. Probably
I can't find a decent video of it. They're all just pictures in a video in like a thingy slideshow. So I'll catch it later and somewhere. We'll move on. So the second game of Tuesday was Newcastle at home at Elland Road to Crystal Palace. This looked like a draw all the way to the 94th minute, and that's where Rafinha scored a penalty. There's quite a lot of yellow cards. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yellow cards in this game. But yeah.
So just to correct the viewers, what Shaz is referring is to Leeds Palace, not Newcastle.
Leeds United, Crystal Palace. That's what I said, didn't I?
Yeah, you said Newcastle United.
Leeds United versus Crystal Palace, Elland Road.
Shaz pretty much predicted that Rafinha would score. And I mean, it was basically a last-minute winner from Rafinha. And you know what? I think Leeds needed that because Rafinha's been their standout player.
He has, yeah.
They've really struggled throughout the season, so it was good to see them get the points.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Leeds are going to be safe this season because Newcastle, Norwich are definitely getting relegated. I don't know who else to stick with them really. It could be Watford, who just beat United 4-0 the other day, or 4-1. Could even be Burnley. Burnley are level on points with Newcastle and Norwich in the bottom three. They're all on 10 points each.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
But Leeds themselves are on 15 points. So they're clear of the relegation zone at the moment by 5 points after that win. They put themselves in 16th. Level on points with Everton. And there's 4 teams on 16 points: Crystal Palace, Brentford, Villa, and Southampton. So not Newcastle, Leeds United have got a chance, to maybe jump the table to about 11th with 1 win if those teams above them don't win. So that's the results could go their way. Everton, Southampton, Aston Villa, and Brentford and Crystal Palace, if they all lose, or even a couple of them lose, Leeds United win, they go up a couple of spaces. So that saves them even more from relegation. It'll be interesting to see if they can climb the table and take advantage of other teams losing that are above them. I think Leeds will be safe though. I think they'll be. I don't think they'll be fighting relegation. I think they'll be mid-table. They'll be fighting mid-table.
They've got enough quality to fight. I think it's just that teams have figured them out this season.
Yeah.
So really, it's just about trying to capitalize on the points they can get.
That's it. So we'll move on to Wednesday, the 1st of December. We started with Southampton versus Leicester. This was a 2-2 draw. We had Jan Bednarek scoring in the 3rd minute for Southampton, and then Johnny Evans equalised in the 22nd minute. And then Che Adams brought Southampton back into the lead just before half-time there. James Maddison scored just after half-time to get the draw. So all the action came in the first 50 minutes there.
I was actually quite surprised by this because I actually had Leicester winning.
I think we both had Leicester winning this one, didn't we?
Yeah, I think I went for something like 3-0 Leicester or something.
Yeah, I was quite shocked that this is a 2-2 draw, man. It's
Southampton, I mean, they're a decent side, but
yeah.
I think this is more a case of Leicester dropping points than Southampton actually being decent. But
I mean, if Leicester won this, they would have been just above United, just below Tottenham at 7th if they'd won that game.
Yeah.
Wow. And now, because they didn't win, Leicester are 10th. So they could have gone up 3 spots. That's crazy.
It shows how tight the league is.
And Southampton, if they didn't win, would have been either 17th or 16th, depending on goal difference. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite tight, the league, in terms of position this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let's have a look. So from top spot, Man City, 35 points, down to Norwich, who are on 10. There's only 25-point difference at the moment. I mean, Man City's form is absolutely crazy. 5 wins out of 5. Shit.
I'm going to be honest. Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, all of them swap positions.
Yeah, they're just
from
depending on winning and losses, isn't it? Like Chelsea are on 33 points, Liverpool on 34, and Man City on 35.
Chelsea, I know we will cover this week's game week separately. But
yeah, we'll cover week 15. Yeah, we'll definitely cover that in another video.
You saw what happened with Chelsea today, and we don't need to talk about it. That's what I keep trying to tell you, that these big so-called big teams, they aren't all that. If we can play, pretty much go head to head with them, like United against Chelsea the other day. Let's be honest, it was pretty much Chelsea.
We sussed Chelsea out. We knew how they were going to play, and we countered it.
Liverpool ain't all that
Definitely.
either. It was the fact that United didn't turn up. Man
Oh
City,
yeah,
Man
same
City,
again. United didn't turn up.
you didn't turn up. So if you turn up and you play a style of football, you can easily figure these guys out. We're so far
Definitely.
off the pace because you didn't turn up early on. We're having to play catch up because,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I mean, but the story goes, you can pull it back, but it really has to be consistent from here. But
Yeah,
I
no, definitely. United need to be more consistent going forward.
we'll
Otherwise,
talk
it's
about
going to
that
struggle.
as the show
We'll
goes.
we'll we'll, we'll talk on we'll talk more about that on Fergie time.
Yeah.
After the not young boys game, after the game tomorrow. Yeah, we'll move on to the next game of the week. Watford at home at Vicarage Road to Chelsea. Just as you were talking about Chelsea, bro, they are the next on the list. Mason Mount put Chelsea in the lead at the 30th minute, and Emmanuel Dennis equalising on the 44th minute just before halftime there. And then you have Hakim Ziyech scoring the winner in the 72nd minute.
I'm being honest. Chelsea were poor in this game. I saw that.
You actually predicted a Watford win here, didn't you? I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
you
did.
said Watford were going to win this
I,
because
I,
obviously they just come off the big win against United.
I did, and I wasn't far off. And
You weren't.
Chelsea,
You
let's
weren't.
be honest, they had that little bit of extra quality, which is all I go back to with these teams. You don't need to be brilliant. You just need to have the extra bit of quality to just get over the line. Uh,
I mean,
so
I
I
can't
just
even believe it. Tom Cleverley's still playing football and he's playing at Watford. What is that all about?
that's quite
What is
funny.
Tom Cleverley still doing as a footballer?
Tom
That's just
Cleverley, Maguire won't be getting. Tom Cleverley won't be getting the Christmas card off Maguire.
let's
That's for
hope not.
sure.
Let's
So
hope not. That's just crazy that Tom Cleverley's still playing football. Bloody heck. Yeah, to be honest, with the way Chelsea have been, I thought they could have lost this game. And your prediction, you were quite close on it.
yeah, I mean,
I think Watford would have been quite upset about this result themselves because they probably went into this thinking we can win this, especially after the form that they've had after beating United.
no, but I go back to the other point, and you laugh about this. Uh, they played two games, so they played Chelsea the other day, and they played City today, which we'll cover separately.
Yeah.
But my point is, we said this, a bit of reality check was going to come in, and that
Mhm.
reality check has been proven because it just shows how missing United were. It's like
Oh yeah,
United didn't even
100%.
turn up at Watford. That's
They
how funny
didn't.
it is. These guys
That
were
was the
like,
nail in the coffin for Solskjaer, bro. That was just the nail in the coffin for Solskjaer.
the guys didn't turn up, so they should never have lost. But it
Not
just shows you
100%.
that they weren't playing for the manager. Anyway, going back to this, yeah, Chelsea made it difficult for themselves, but they
Yeah.
pulled the win out of the bag.
They still got the 3 points, which is, they'll be happy with the 3 points at the end of the day, even though they made it hard on themselves, as you said. I think they'll still be happy with getting the 3 points. That's all that matters really in the league is getting the points early on like before Christmas, getting as many points as you can under the
Yeah,
bag. So next we had West Ham at the London Stadium hosting Brighton. West Ham
oh, West
scoring in
Ham,
the 5th minute with Susek,
Souček.
and Brighton then equalising in the 89th minute with Neil Maupay. Do you know what? I actually would have expected West Ham to beat them with this
The West
form that
Ham,
West Ham have
would
had.
be kicking themselves, especially after today's result.
Mm.
Against Chelsea. Jeez, bro, you know what? The amount of last minute winners we're seeing, it just shows you that teams need to be switched on.
Yeah,
They seem to turn off when they most don't need to. Yes, I would say definitely 2 points drop for West Ham.
yeah,
West
definitely,
Ham obviously
definitely.
do check with the goal. They were pretty dominant, West Ham, but unfortunately they didn't convert their chances.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
maybe
going back to that, West Ham were dominant. I mean, stats wise, let's have a look at the stats on this game, man. Even in possession, Brighton had 65%, bro. West Ham only had 34.3% possession,
yeah.
but they had more shots and more shots on target. But Brighton had 736 touches, bro, compared to 464 touches. Bloody Brighton had 540 passes, which is more than the touches West Ham had the whole game. That's crazy. They made 19 tackles, 28 clearances. Wow. That's mad. It's mad. I would have expected West Ham to be more dominant in this game, bro.
You would like to think that, but obviously, as that goes, complacency can play a huge part.
100%. I mean, I think they probably went into this a bit overconfident and underestimating Brighton there, which isn't something you should be doing. You shouldn't be underestimating Brighton.
Well, you should never underestimate any team.
Yeah, exactly.
What you should do is play to the best of your ability, grind out the result or win, and just show your true potential. And unfortunately, I think sometimes this season it's happened whereby you take a team too lightly and they'll end up making you pay.
This is a perfect example of what the Premier League is about. Teams who are expected to win don't win, and they get a draw against a team they should be beating. And then you've got another example of a team that should be doing really well, but losing to that team where United lost to Watford. Sol is leaving comments. Congrats on the win. I'd love to know what you thought of the Arsenal and United game. I thought it was a really good game. I thought Arsenal could have taken it. They had some good chances where they could have, but we will get onto that game in a bit. I think it's the last game on the list.
I definitely have things to say on that game. I'll say that.
Well, we'll jump on to the next game. Wolves at the Mullinex Stadium, 0-0 draw with Burnley. I don't know about this. I was expecting Burnley to win.
I said it would end in a draw.
Did you? You called this one then, bro.
I called this right through the middle because
you're right for once.
Yeah, I had to be right. Well, give me one time to be right. That's fine. Man. Not very often I get to be right.
So there's not really much that we can talk about if it's a draw. A draw's a draw in it.
It's about as bland as you can ever talk.
And there was no goals, so we can't really talk about it.
I would just leave it, move on.
Let's just move on. Aston Villa lost their first game under Stevie G. Aston Villa 1, Man City 2. Ollie Watkins scoring in the 47th minute for Aston Villa. And Ruben Diaz scoring before half-time. And Bernardo Silva scoring before half-time as well. So at half-time, it was 2-0 to City. And Watkins scored just after half-time to try and pull them back. I think City are just too much for people. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, welcome to reality check to Stevie G. So the honeymoon period is over. Now he's about to realize how tough the Premier League actually is.
100%.
Man City do what they do best. They grind teams down. They're clinical. I wouldn't call them brilliant. I would call it Pep Guardiola knowing what to get at, how to beat teams. And that's something every team can learn from.
100%. Pep is... he's one of the best managers in the world, and it shows with the form City have got. He's getting the best out of his players, which isn't what a lot of managers can say right now, especially United. They're not getting the best out of their players, but Man City are. So we've got to go back and look at that and see why United aren't performing and why City are. And it comes down to the manager, it comes down to the coaching, and things like that. Like I said, I was expecting City to win. I wouldn't have expected City to lose to Aston Villa. So, no surprises there. City won like they were expected to do. We'll move on, bro, because I don't think there's much else to talk about Man City. They're just, like I said, they're too dominant. Just like this next game, Liverpool 4, Everton 1. Everton at home at Goodison Park. Damari Gray scoring their goal in the 38th minute. And then you had Henderson scoring Liverpool, the first goal of the game, and then Mo Salah scoring in the 19th minute to make it 2-0. And then Damari Gray scoring to 2-1. And then you had Salah scoring his second and Diego Jota scoring to finish that game off. Liverpool were very clinical in front of goal in this game. They played really well. I watched the highlights and Salah was on fire, man.
Bro, I did tell you that Everton had just shit.
I think we both predicted that Liverpool were going to win this, didn't we?
Yeah. Everton are just shockingly bad at the moment. I mean, as bad as it can be.
Mhm.
Liverpool did what they needed to do. I mean, you know, it's a bad day in the office when Henderson's scoring a goal.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
he's like the Fred of the team for Liverpool, isn't it? If he scores, you know you're done.
yeah, we'll talk more about Fred in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get to Fred.
We'll get to Fred.
Let's just talk about Liverpool for a bit because, as United fans, obviously we don't like Liverpool. Everyone knows that, but you've got to give them the credit where credit's due. They're always, especially Salah. Salah's such a good player. It's hard for another team to beat Liverpool with Salah on form.
Salah's one of those players that when he joined Chelsea 10 years ago,
Yeah,
he was never getting in the team because
I bet
um,
you Liverpool. I bet you Chelsea are kicking themselves now that.
De Bruyne had the same problem. So De Bruyne was at
Yeah,
Chelsea as well.
imagine
And
now that De Bruyne and Mo Salah were both still at Chelsea.
yeah, they
I
both had
mean,
to
that's
go
just mad.
reinvent themselves and then get brought into the Premier League. I mean,
Yeah,
it,
De Bruyne went to, was it Wolfsburg?
yeah, and
I can't remember where Salah went.
he went to Roma. He went to
There you go.
Roma.
Yeah. So they both went abroad, did their thing, and then now they're back to bite Chelsea in the ass, basically.
Yes, they are. And but I mean, going back onto the Liverpool performance to wrap it up, pretty much clinical. You couldn't say much more than that.
No,
Salah doing what he
100%.
does best. Uh, Jota obviously came from Wolves for 30
Yes.
million. That's a bargain, if you ask me. He
Good
does
player,
what he
very
does
good
best.
player.
Good
He's
player.
fitted well into Liverpool. Like he's scoring some very important goals for him. Like obviously, this goal wasn't that important because it was already 3-1 at the time. But there's been times where he scored the only goal of the game, or the only goals of the game to win that game for him. So yeah, it's a bargain at that price. 100%, you're right on that. It's a bargain. Now, Shaz, we're going to go on to a team that we all hate. Bottle job Spurs to Brentford 0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There was an own goal involved in this. Sergi Canos scoring an own goal in the 12th minute. And then your man Song Hyun-min scoring in the 65th minute. Now, I wouldn't have expected Brentford to win this, especially with the new manager for Spurs. I think Spurs did what they needed to do in this game. It's not a big deal that they beat a team like Brentford. They should be beating a team like Brentford if they're a top 6 club like people keep saying they are. But I'm going to keep saying it. They're not. And Shaz knows this. Shaz knows how much I hate Spurs.
Well, yeah, Spurs are just Spurs. I mean, let's be honest. Brentford just come up. Brentford have
Are you
done well.
surprised that Tottenham won this game, though?
Yeah, I actually predicted Brentford to win it. So if
I
you
think you
look
did,
at,
yeah.
so I predicted Brentford to win it 1-0. But I mean, they can't win them all, and for me, it's just a step in the right direction for Brentford.
I mean, look at Brentford, though, now. They're 12th in the Premier League. After 14 games, they're on 16 points. So that's
the,
really good for a team that's just come up.
what are Norwich on?
Norwich are on 10 points at the bottom of
So
the league.
that's what I'm trying to say. So Norwich are the yo-yo club that keep coming up.
Wow, they're on minus 20 goal difference, and Newcastle are on minus 13. I mean,
Yeah,
the bottom 3 are all on 10 points, but Norwich are bottom because they're on minus 20. Newcastle are on minus 13, and Burnley are on minus 7. So that's just crazy. Just mad.
yeah.
Just crazy. I mean, I would have wanted Spurs to lose this game. To be fair, I don't like Spurs. I can't stand them. But that's just me in it. I don't like Spurs. So we'll move on, bro. The next game, the last game of game week 14 at Old Trafford, Manchester United taking on Arsenal. This was a 3-2 victory for United. We did speak about this yesterday, I think it was it yesterday? Yeah, so we did a video on Fergie Time yesterday where we gave you our thoughts on this game. So we won't go into too much on this. Emil Smith-Rowe scored the first goal for Arsenal, which was very controversial. We spoke about it yesterday. We'll touch on it a little bit later on. Then we have Bruno Fernandes equalising, and then Cristiano Ronaldo scoring to make it 2-1. Odegaard scoring to make it 2-2. and then Fred winning the penalty from the Odegaard tackle to make it 3-2 with a Ronaldo penalty. Ronaldo scoring his 800th and 801th goal in his career. Big milestone for any player. So the main talking point of this game, Shaz, was Emile Smith-Rowe scoring whilst De Gea was down. Yes, we know that Fred accidentally hit De Gea or tripped him up or whatever, but De Gea looked like he was injured. He was holding his leg. The referee, the linesman, someone should have stopped play, or Arsenal's players should have seen that he was down and kicked the ball out and not just kick it at goal and score, because that's a very sneaky way of scoring a goal.
Well,
Hold on. But that's the only way Arsenal could score in it, by doing sneaky goals now. It's like scoring a sneaky goal on FIFA when you know the other player's not ready, and you still carry on.
It was,
you know what I mean?
It was a weird one because I didn't have Amazon Prime, so I didn't get a chance to see it. So I heard about it.
Right, it was free on Amazon Prime. I don't have Amazon Prime, but I tuned in and watched this. It was free.
Yeah, I know. I watched the highlights back, and it was quite weird because I was like, Fred injured, the hair was down. Normally, yes, the referee should blow it. It was controversial because it was like, okay, so who was making the decisions? Who was jumping? Someone should have kicked out, but
right, the referee didn't see it. The referee only noticed De Gea was down after Smith-Rowe kicked the ball and scored. So it's down to VAR. That's what VAR is there for, is to help make these decisions that the referee hasn't seen, or the linesman should have seen it. I mean, the linesman was right there. He saw that De Gea was down, but he didn't put his flag up to say that someone's injured or there's a foul. So VAR should have, contacted the referee. There's a foul there. De Gea is down. Arsenal needs to kick the ball out. It's not a goal, but even VAR turned around and said it's a goal, which is very controversial. So Sol did leave his comment earlier about United and Arsenal's game when I asked him, so I'll just bring it up now. United were terrible. Arsenal even worse because of Aubameyang and Partey. Aubameyang had a really bad game. There was a chance where he could have brought it to 3-2 to Arsenal, or maybe 3-3, but he hit it right at De Gea, and you don't expect that from Aubameyang because he used to be a really good striker.
No doubt,
until he went to Arsenal. Come on, Shaz. I want to hear your Arsenal trash talking now, bro. Come on. This is the time.
It was funny. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's like Christmas come early for Arsenal with the no good goal.
I'm not saying that Arsenal are fifth. They're 2 points above United at the moment.
The league doesn't lie, so they are where they are because they've got the points.
They got the points when United haven't, so it's just one of them, innit?
Arsenal have typically been a bogey side for Man United.
Yeah, they always have been.
And obviously, Ronaldo with the goal could make it 2-1. And then I don't know what happened with Odegaard's goal. It's like the team fell asleep or something, because I was like, all right, safe, 2-1, let's chill out. And I got a notification saying it's 2-2. I thought, what's going on here?
Yeah, man.
A special mention to your boy Fred. He doesn't do much right, but
he had actually, besides tripping up De Gea, he didn't do too bad. We spoke about it earlier. We spoke about it yesterday in Fergie time, that he's going to fit really well into the style of play that Ralph Rangnick is going to bring to United. And I think he's going to be one of the key players going forward at United. I'd like it to be Pogba that's the key player, but I know it's not going to happen. And I'm not going to go into my rant like I did yesterday on Pogba, because that was a very big rant. I got it off my chest. I don't need to say it again. If you want to catch my rant on Pogba, then go watch yesterday's video on Fergie time. I rant about Pogba and stuff like that. And Shaz went on a rant yesterday about Vin Diesel, of all people, and he's not even a footballer. That's just crazy.
A slight different tangent. So yeah,
it was a continuation of the review that we did on Finish Cut of the Fast and Furious movies, which was the previous day. So Shaz went on a sick rant about Vin Diesel and stuff. And I think he had to remind himself this isn't the right show, because we were talking about this was Fergie time and not finished cut. I think you got your wires crossed, bro. You thought you were still in finished cut.
That's how good the show was, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed doing that one on Fast and Furious, though. I really did enjoy it, and I enjoyed yesterday's Fergie time as well. Two shows that I really enjoyed doing is Fergie time and obviously Finish Cut, because you can talk a lot of shit about everything. Yeah, that's game week 14 covered. There's more videos to come tomorrow. We've got all things wrestling where we talk about WWE and AEW and all other stuff. Monday we have Fergie time where we talk about United versus Crystal Palace, which is on tomorrow. And Tuesday we have a special edition of Finished Article podcast where we just chat shit about anything and everything. There's going to be me, Shaz, and hopefully Nadim's going to be on it with us. And we've got other videos planned, but they're not on the schedule yet. But they will be updated on the schedule tomorrow. But I think that's all we have time for today. It was just a quick one to get this reviewing of game week 14 before game week 15 had finished, and we had to do both of them. But appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate the love and support. Leave the like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. It's just down there. I'm half asleep. I'm half tired. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Facebook and Twitter underneath. The YouTube channel's there as well. So follow us across social media. Hit the subscribe button. I'll fire it over to Shaz and let him finish off before we go.
Yeah, nice one, bro. Yeah, I fully appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in for this late night show. But we wanted to get something out for you today before we conked out for the night. But yeah, this is a review of Game Week 14. Some interesting games, some results that we didn't expect or did expect. But it'd be interesting to see how the rest of Game Week 15 goes before we review that. Like Shaz said, we released the schedule of upcoming podcasts we'll be doing over the next couple of days. So stay tuned for that. You can see our socials below. So just hit us up on there if you need to reach out to us or want to jump on. As mentioned, the Finish Cut, we had a special guest this week, Ryan from Sarcasm City. Shout out to him and the boys for retweeting the show and jumping on. Great to have you guys on, and hopefully we can collaborate again in the future. But yeah, these are the things we like to deliver for you guys. So if there's anything that you want us to see cover, just give us a shout. But that's a wrap it for me tonight. Stay safe, have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.